Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Culture episode 44.
43. You
It's not
fool!
43. It's not 43.
It's 43. Last
I refuse to
episode was
believe
42, and I know because it's the answer to the question to life, the universe, and everything, and I remarked on
That's
it.
true. I think you did say that last time. See, that's why I need my notebook.
I understand. I do.
Welcome to episode 43 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and we have our players, same as always. First off, I'll say we don't have Frank with us today, but maybe he'll show up. Instead, you can look at this beautiful art made by Abby. Instead, if you miss him, as we all do miss him, we have Kyle, Mac, Josh, Abby, and Christo. Now, I'm going to give us a quick recap of what happened last time, which should be simple enough. We've been in a bit of downtime working on ourselves and our futures, which is nice. And then I think we can jump back into things. We left off at an interesting moment. The party completed a ritual for Gullundyr, and this moment was sort of the spark that sort of kind of ignited downtime, where people went off and started to do their own things. And some people left Gullundyr, Tordrek being one of them, making his way towards the coast so he could convene with his goddesses, sort of torn between fighting and healing, and his goddesses in godly fashion are like, why not both? And he's like, that's valid. Some of you still have downtime things. Gorbjorn went to go check on his wolf family. Everybody's doing fine. Fen went out into the woods and has started doing some hunting and maybe some convening with God if God wants to talk. Also may have found a little friend along the way. Saga started building a small temple at a crossroads bit outside of Gullundyr. And after completing her tiny little tiny little worshiping space, she took the time,
like that, but okay.
At least I see it as like, how tall do you see it as? Because at least maybe Saga's height tops.
Yeah, like
how high can she lift a rock?
If you were to kneel, you would like be able to put your hands on it that high.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Jillian. During that, after you completed that, you took the time to get your incredibly long prophecy from Lady Satyr. Some of the things you're like, I understand some of those words, and some of it's like, it'll happen though. So you see just what comes for you along the way, really. It's weird. All the downtime episodes are like blurring together in my mind now. So I'm like, I don't know what exactly happened last time. But this is where we are currently, is with Saga, who is on the side of the road, worshiping and spreading the news. Tordrek on the way home. And Saga is approached by Egill on horseback and a few of his compatriots, wearing the symbol of Lady Satyr, and offering Saga a ride back into town, which she accepts because she's just been foraging for a little over a week now. And it's like, I could use a meal and a roof. I don't know. That doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world. Yeah. With a smile, he reaches down and he pulls you up onto his horse. He pulls you to the front of the horse and not behind him. And he like leans over. This is Sugar, and like motions to the horse.
Oh, that's a great name for a horse. Hello, Sugar.
She's pretty friendly. Don't tug too hard on the mane, though. Bit of a princess. And he starts to move down the road. That is where we left off, and that is where we'll pick up, is with Saga and Egill on horseback making their way to Gullundyr. So, you promised you'd tell me about your lady.
Oh, absolutely. Goodness. Well, she came to me a few years ago and gave me a wonderful prophecy, and it came true. And since then she's continued to give me all these prophecies that have been coming true. She gives me all sorts of information, and it always happens. I just help to make sure those things do come to be. She's very good at keeping people on the right path, making sure things turn out as they should.
How very interesting. Prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
And do they just come to you in a spiritual moment?
Yes, sort of. I also I don't know. I feel like somebody would call it I've heard some of my party members use the word drugs. But
Mm,
it's like an eye drop that you that you place into your eyes, and then you see visions of the prophecies.
interesting.
Yeah.
And you're the only one um, doing these drugs, and you can see he does like the little quotes next to you. Um,
Oh no, I've actually I've the the amount of people that I've had in following Lady Satyr has increased like double in the past little while. So I've had another person uh try it, and they got their prophecy, and they're out right now finishing theirs, making sure it comes true.
that's a pretty efficient business you have going on.
Mhm. If things keep at this rate, we'll be a full clergy by, a few years.
Well, I am incredibly excited for you, and happy to learn more along the way, of course. Did
Oh, I
any of
have.
these followers of yours help in the construction of your beautiful temple?
Well, one of them said that he wanted to help, but then when I told him that we were going to do the temple, he was like, "Oh, well, I have some other things that I also need to do with, like, I don't know, helping people who are hungry and stuff like that." So he didn't help, but and the other one is on a mission. Oh my gosh, I need to write a letter. I totally forgot. I got a letter from one of them and I haven't written back. He's probably so worried. Oh, I feel so bad. Oh
That's no
my gosh.
problem. Well, we're heading back into town, so I'm sure we can settle that up. Also, if you're interested, I'm sure my compatriots and I feel similarly, but I'm sure we are also hungry. Um, uh, if you will oblige me, I'd be happy to buy you something when we're in town.
Oh wow, that would be so nice of you. Um, yeah, I'll repay you with all sorts of stories if that's what you want to do. Um, I can tell you all about uh my prophecies and Lady Satyr and what I've been doing. Um, do
I
you want to hear
think
one of them, or?
I would love to hear one of your prophecies.
Sure. Like the first one maybe? Or
Uh, uh, what you said you just got one recently.
yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, that one's a little long, so I mean it's a little hard to keep track of. But if you want to hear that one, yeah, I can tell you that one.
Uh, dealer's choice.
Um, oh man. Well, I haven't talked about the first one in such a long time. I kind of just want to tell you about that one.
Of course, I'd love to hear it.
Okay. Well, um, so it was on a bed of grass, a trickster lays upon it, a shift man, a red of coat, long of face, begs an apple green, when the glass no longer reflects the day, wherever he may point, journey on till dawn.
You must be pretty damn smart to be figuring out all these prophecies.
Oh man, I don't know. They're very confusing. They do seem very confusing at the beginning. I never really know what they mean until it just all happens and it all works out. And then at the end I'm like, "Oh, Lady Satyr, you silly." And it's always fine.
That sounds pretty straightforward to me. I would love to also offer some assistance if I may, and you are welcome once again to decline. But I am also building an establishment, refitting an establishment in Gullundyr, which means I'm going to have some people in town who specialize in such things. If you are interested, I could send my architect friend your way, and maybe we could at least get you a roof.
Oh, you mean you could help build the temple?
Of course. And I'm sure she would love to help a woman of the cloth, so no charge necessary.
Absolutely. Oh my. This is such, you know what? Lady Seder is going to have some good things for you in the future if this is the kind of effort that you're going to be putting into her services. This is a very good contribution to her. She's going to be very grateful.
I truly appreciate her, and I appreciate you for introducing me.
You know what? You should, if you're going to keep doing this, you might need to get your prophecy soon then.
I'll definitely take it into consideration. I'll take your opinion on it more than your companions, who seem to call it drugs. I usually avoid the stuff myself best I can. But maybe we'll see what the future holds for us.
Well, I mean, if it is drugs, it only lasts for like 10 minutes or so, so it's the worst drugs ever, really. So
That does sound like incredibly terrible drugs, but a little bit more up my alley.
okay.
I think that would be great. And, while we're on this little horse ride, I'm going to give you a word of advice. I am no longer hunting any of you, which you know.
Oh, really appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, of course. I hold up my ends of bargains and everyone holds up theirs, and that's how we do things.
Mhm.
But shockingly enough, I'm not the boss to everyone, which sometimes pisses me off. People are unpredictable, and probably the only reason you are not dead currently, being by yourself on the side of the road, is because I have yet to inform my employer that I'm not doing the job. Now, the second I step foot into Gullundyr, a letter will be sent. And I'll tell you this much. While you are in Gullundyr, secret between you and me, you are incredibly safe. And the thing is, if somebody decides to do something in Gullundyr while I am there, they might be fucking stupid, is the thing. So any smart bounty hunter will not be hunting you in Gullundyr while I am present. But I
Well,
cannot say for the road, is the thing.
Oh. Okay.
I just wanted you to know, because I will be sending that letter soon.
Mm.
But I will
Alright.
have, when my companions are in town, they come with company, which I pay very heavily for to keep them safe. And while they are in town, I'm sure occasionally you can receive an escort to check on your temple.
Okay. That's good. It sounds like it's out of your hands. So, I mean, I appreciate all the effort that you've put in so far. I think you're doing well.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. I am doing a lot more than normal.
Yeah, make sure you take some time for yourself every once in a while then. Yeah.
I'll definitely have to install the hot pool then.
Yeah.
And horses pick up the pace and they start making their way into Gullundyr. It's your first time back in a while. And I would just love to know, in this first week, the people that are in Gullundyr, is there anything that you would have been up to in the first week that we did not address last time? I will say, I remembered with my big brain. Now, Nana, I have a question for you, and I'm not holding this against anybody. A lot of stuff's going on currently in game. Would you have taken the time to inform all of your companions before they left of the contents of that contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I would have made sure that everybody was aware of the updates that had been made, the changes that had been agreed upon, and the final form of the contract before it was sent.
Okay. So the thing that would affect most of you is the fact that all of you were technically included in word in the peace treaty section of it, that you could not attack Egill and Associates, could not cause harm to Egill and Associates, could not get somebody else to do it for you, or the contract could be null and void. So everybody is aware that there is a bit of a peace treaty between you and Egill at the moment. Just wanted to make sure you told everybody about it.
That's fair. No, I understand completely. That is exactly the kind of thing that would slip Mac's mind. I believe Nana would consider it.
I feel like
Before all
Nana,
her
the
friends
second
get
she
to the
got that thing
wings.
signed, was like, let me find these fucking nerds, and like went around to each person. But just to make sure that happened, everybody is aware now that we have a moment of a lull between the two, in a business sense. So the people of currently in Gullundyr, anything of interest? I would say, I keep jumping in. Nana, Hertha would have offered to you in this time to shadow her.
Okay.
For chief stuff.
Definitely something worthwhile to be knowledgeable about, if nothing else. Nana's okay with that.
Yeah. Basically, at this point, you know that there's going to be a ceremony where she is officially named chief under the Statute of Golveg. But currently, it is not public knowledge. And everything she is doing consists of writing letters. She informs you that she is writing a letter and sending something for Strick Hersterson's widow, that she is sending a letter to the Jarl because the Jarl must be informed that Ave has passed, and is also sending basically letters asking for assistance from their allies in neighboring areas because the winter is going to be hard. So she, this whole week, has been writing letters. That has been
Nana would be happy to help at least do the grunt work on that, help copy out whatever the proper message is, and make sure it's presentable so that Hertha can sign off on it and such.
So this is really Nana's first time delving into the paperwork of it. And as like Hertha's first day as chief, it's like, okay, sit down. And we have to write a shit ton of letters. And that is just the week, writing letters to many, many people. The Jarl's letter was written first and sent off as quickly as possible. Anything else besides chiefing about with the chief?
For me or for the party in general?
Just for you. Anything else, Nana?
At some point during all of this, I think she'd want to check in with Roshan and make sure that he's doing all right, for one thing. And I guess as the week goes on, kind of check in with him about like where he's at with the journal and if he needs additional assistance with it, so on.
Okay.
So generally for the first week, after we have performed the Hallow ritual, it kind of screwed up his sleep schedule. So he wakes up around noon and then spends most of the remaining daytime over at Hertha's with his mom and the baby and the notebook.
The mom, the baby, and the notebook.
Sounds like a movie right there.
It really does. Yeah, come on, Hollywood, get on it.
And then after that, he goes back to the bar and plays barman.
Barman.
Until early hours of the morning. So he's tired, but functional.
That's fair.
That's all we can ask for.
Nana,
I am going to let you do an insight check on Roshan. I am going to say my observations at certain numbers.
Fair enough.
Roshan can add anything if he wants.
All righty. That's not a bad one.
Okay.
Insight +1, 16.
Okay. Roshan, have you started wearing gloves?
Good question.
It
Isn't it?
He probably does for like spending time around town and serving at the bar, but probably does not at Hertha's.
Okay. You can see that his tattoo has moved to his hands. You can see that it is now a bit more encompassing, or he just went and got some sick tats after he got back to town. Anything's doable, really.
Anything's possible when you've got enough magic and or tattoo ink.
Mhm.
I would say with a 16. Is that what you got?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roshan seems more there. He seems more aware. He seems more part of his surroundings. It could be because, you get back to town and, it's some things are better, some things are worse. But there is an obvious change of something, and you don't think for the worse. You're just not sure what it is exactly. Roshan, is there anything else you'd like to add to a 16? But those were my things.
Probably just that he seems comfortable being focused on something. And right now that something is translating the book.
Very nice. Speaking of the book, Arcana check, advantage.
Okay. Let's knock it out of the park.
Let's do it.
Get it, buddy.
That's a 25.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can pick this week. You haven't exactly broken the code, but there's like some words you've started picking up on and now can start to dissect it. Ave does not have the neatest handwriting, and it is written. I don't want to say like an insane person wrote it, but it does not follow like any line. It is just like, it is like spur of the moment, and I wrote it down and I didn't even look at it while I wrote it, is how it works. You can pick two of the things from the book and I will tell you about them. Would you like a reminder of the things?
I've got the list. I want to know, did I already get as much out of the pearls as I thought I could? Or
You
not?
have a good bit out of the pearls. You
Okay.
think there might be something more if you translated like the whole page about it, the whole multiple pages about it, but you at least know about it to a pretty fair degree.
Okay, so then the first business would be about his mom and why his mom is in the book.
Okay. You look to the page where there is the sketch of your mother, and you can see that this page is covered in a lot of question marks. Like it's like a lot of questions. And you realize the questions aren't exactly answered. Like you can see in some sections in the book where Ave writes a question and then answers it himself at a later date, it looks like. There are not a lot of answers on this page, but a lot of arrows pointing to different parts of your mother. It's like a bust portrait. And the things you gain from it, the first word that hits you is onset illness, possibly curse, question mark.
Quick question. Onset like the drug, or onset like
Not the
the
drug.
illness has progressed?
Illness has progressed.
Okay.
It seems I have fucked myself with my words.
Curses. I
Gotta
do
change
that all
my
the
drug
time.
names.
It's so annoying.
Yes, not drug centric.
Sorry.
So subtly as he can after learning that, he would like to just, casually detect magic, see if he can see anything like cursey on her.
Are there any curses in here? Just like a little peek into the room.
Knock, knock. Any curses in here? Just go full John Mulaney on it.
I'm also just checking because you're doing this in Ave's house. I'm like,
Oh boy,
um,
I'm excited. What
Yeah,
secrets is Big Brother hiding?
Yeah, that cubby's a pretty big secret.
Well,
Yeah, the cubby lights up. Doot, doot, doot.
the mailbox cubby.
There's just a little glowing mailbox in the room.
It's like it's your inbox. You've got mail.
I will say you can see that in the doorway of that room, there are some protection runes carved above Ave's office that glow a bit. You go and take a slight glance at your mother. A little. There is just a soft glow of magic inside of her. It's almost like a wisp of energy, a mist. It is not very tangible.
Right.
And as you look at the book and it says, "Is it curse? Is it curse?" It says, "Unconfirmed. Keep looking for a mark." And then under it, it says, "No mark found. Can do a closer inspection? No."
All right.
That's that for Frona's section.
And then the other thing I want to know about is the spear.
All right. You go to the section with the spear.
The spear
And
Ave spear.
This page almost has a little bit of flair to it. The spear is drawn in the center. You can see that there's a header above it, and then just once again, full of those question marks, just unsure. Questions for himself, all of them not really answered, even less so than on Frona's page. But you can see that you, if I could read my own handwriting, Ave. Okay. You see the phrase "to tremble," question mark, "to sway," question mark. And the header above it says Gullundyr. You would know that Gullundyr is Odin's spear. The things you learn from this is that all in question mark form. Basically, is the lore correct? Question mark. Doesn't miss? Question mark. In the valley? Question mark. And you can see a small bit of a check underneath that question. Unbreakable code, unbreakable oath sworn beneath? Question mark. Basically wanting to try and get confirmation about if the legends about it are true. It is
interesting.
It is mostly a page of, I wonder. The only thing confirmed on it is location.
Well,
Now we don't even have that.
Yeah.
Now that's gone.
God damn it.
confirmed once upon a time.
No longer confirmed.
You just scribble. They make that check an X. You're like, not confirmed, silly goose.
Silly father figure. Boo on you.
Yeah, those are the things you learn. That
Okay.
the spear is assumed to be Gullundyr, and that your mother could possibly have a curse on her, or she is just sick. Ave doesn't know.
Love it.
Love it. Living the dream. Thanks, Jillian. I'm having a good time. I love it here.
So I don't know how Ro sees this going down, but I picture Nana taking a break from letter writing with Hertha to make some tea. Normal tea. Not drug tea. Normal tea. With caffeine, maybe. Presumably. Tea usually has that unless it's herby. And bring a mug
Oh,
over
we have
to
our herbs here.
We have our herbs. Oh boy, do we. The crop is good in Gullundyr, I'll tell you what. Brings Roshan a piping hot mug of tea and sets it down on the desk next to him and kind of leans over. So, how's it going so far?
Slowly. There's mostly unanswered questions in this book, at least in the passages that I've been able to read or translate. It seems like Ave thought maybe my mom was cursed, and that's why she's
Ill.
yeah. But also, Ave thinks that the spear was Gullundyr, like the one from the stories.
Odin's Gullundyr.
That's what he thinks, but he wasn't able to confirm anything about it other than that it was in the valley.
Which now, of course, it's not.
Yeah, and it explains why he recognized it.
Mm-hmm. Why he wanted to parlay, perhaps. I don't know. How did he come to know about it? How did he come to find out where it was? How could anyone?
Does any of this text have any answers akin to that, like where he got this information?
He, unlike, a textbook, Ave lists no sources.
Yeah.
Not
God
a
damn
single
it.
drop of source. No sauce in here whatsoever.
He didn't even include a bibliography.
There's not a single
The
bibliography in
heathen.
this bitch. This is not MLA format. You get none of it.
Even
This is why
Wikipedia does better.
This is why
Read the
Ave never
footnote.
got his PhD.
Very obviously. All right. Well, that's more than we had to go on previously, I suppose.
And if I keep working, I should be able to crack everything in here at least by the end of the month.
That's fantastic. I can't thank you enough for your help, bro. I really can't.
Of course. It does feel a little like a break of trust that it says to burn this, but I just feel like there are some answers in here, but every answer leads to 10 more questions.
You're not wrong. And Golvig knows Ave kept an abundance of secrets not in this book, most of which he's burned, apparently.
Yeah,
So,
it's a lot more empty in here than I remember.
yeah, it's a little hard to look at. But, nonetheless, or perhaps especially because of that, thank you for being willing to be here and to assist with this.
Of course.
How are you doing, Ro?
Loaded question.
Well, I'll own that, but you can only answer as much as you want to.
I'm okay. It's nice to be home, but it feels different.
Yeah. Yeah. Very.
And I'm worried about what we're going to do next. Will we be able to answer any questions with what the answers we get from this book, or is it going to just lead us down a rabbit hole?
We can only guess at this point, I suppose. Really, I'm just glad to have, I don't know, some inkling about any of this. I don't know, it just feels like he was going through so much preparation The bit with the pearls. He had to have eaten those the day before or the day of. How could he have known?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I have no right to ask you about that, but... Do those questions chase around your mind like they do mine? All hours, day and night.
Yeah. And now they're at least not want for company. There's a
That's
lot of
true.
them, a lot more, now that we made it home.
Yeah. I can only hope that if we can at least crack this, what's left of his notes, maybe we'll at least have some answers to some questions, even if we do have more questions remaining afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I should probably get to the bar. The inn.
Yeah, certainly. I did want to ask, had you been to see Atri? Got a new tattoo?
Oh, no, that just happened after the funeral.
Really? Is it to do with your other form?
I think so. I feel it more now as a separate thing. That
Like a spirit?
It's more, I've never had to put it in words before, but it's not something that's just a part of me anymore. It's more than that.
Do you think it might have ties to, I don't know, a god? Or your sister? Or...
Well, I can only imagine that it does. You know, I was born on the coast, and neither my mom nor my aunt will talk about it. Maybe I just have to try harder with my aunt, but my mom can't seem to remember.
I understand. Is there anything that I can do to help?
Not right now, but I will let you know.
Please do. Anything for you, Ro.
Thank you.
Of course. And I'd best not keep you from the inn and your many demanding customers, not to mention your demanding aunt.
Frigga might not let you drink for free anymore.
That's understandable.
Have a good evening, and just check in on my mom whenever you get a chance.
Of course. I take breaks writing letters on occasion with Hertha often enough that I can look in on your mother. I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Ro. Have a good evening yourself.
You as well.
Okay. Because the two of you have spent a lot of time in the same place, I would like an insight check from both of you.
Wow, that's a nat 20.
Oh,
25.
buddy! Well, I got a 15. It's not the worst.
Roshan, give me a medicine check. I'll give you advantage for your nat 20.
I can't pull out more than a 10 for that.
Okay. Roshan, it takes you a couple days to fully catch it. Red eyes, puffy face, constantly spacing out, staring just off, and then quickly trying to get back to work. She is hiding it incredibly well. Hertha is struggling so immensely. You can see that she is trying her damnedest to busy herself with work. And most of the times you can see the slight slip up when you first arrive. That a bit puffy in the face, but she doesn't cry when you're there. She doesn't do anything like that. She just works. And sometimes, occasionally, because you're there for many hours, you catch her just, sometimes she'll get up to do something and she just stops. And then goes back to what she was doing. Just moments where she cannot move forward and then continues again. With your medicine check. This is not your area of expertise, but you have heard about this, that sometimes women do not do well after having children. And a lot has happened to Hertha lately, and you don't know if it's just all natural sadness. You have no proof, but it is something that comes to mind.
So knowing that he would do a few things, including just about every hour that he's there, summoning the what's it called, unseen servant to do the laundry, just generally keep the house well maintained and clean, and maybe take care of the baby when she's not looking, because floating baby does not a happy mom make.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't float the baby when she's not there, but
But when she's not looking, yeah, it's okay to float baby.
yeah, I float baby when she's not looking.
And he would make an effort to just be as friendly as he can with her and give her hugs when he leaves, and also ask Nana to check in with her and tell her that Hertha's not, she hides it well, but she's not doing so well. I think it's been a tough couple months.
Well, yes, certainly. I mean, in fairness, it has been for us all, but yes, especially after her having the baby and all this. Okay. I'll maybe ask Gothy Runa about perhaps some, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of medicine or tea that might make her feel a little bit better. Perhaps we can either coax her into taking it, or, God forbid, slip it into a tea, but
She'll never know. we drug her.
maybe we could just send her to the bar, like babysit the kids and help her get out and enjoy a pleasant evening.
Not a bad idea. I'll float it by her next time we're sat down and writing letters. I'll see if maybe she'd like to take an evening sometime in the next week or two to just not be writing letters, and not taking care of the baby for a while.
I think she'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Ro.
Cool. I'm also going to give you one more thing, Roshan, because it's hard to miss when the cubby starts working.
Yes.
And you do receive a message, and you're like, Is it helpful? I don't know. But
Find out.
it's Dagwood. It almost feels like Ave's damn book, except in common. It's for the first half of it is all questions. What does this shadow do? Benevolent? Question mark. Interact with objects? Question mark. And then moves down. Secondly, I designed the pearls, Ave made them. They worked, hopefully. Side note, did Hertha see the last letter? Dagwood.
Then he would go about answering those as succinctly as he can to fit in the word limit. I think the benevolent question, seemingly, and yes to the last letter.
Okay. A yes or no to interact with objects?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else you add, or do you just answer her questions?
He'll just answer her questions for
Okay.
now.
And whoosh, off it goes into the abyss. I'm going to take a slight detour to our boys that were like Gullundyrs for nerds. And right now it definitely is. It's a bunch of nerd shit happening in Gullundyr. I'm going to swing just real quick by Gorbjorn. Is there anything else of note besides hanging out with wolves and being cool in the woods, and sometimes you come back and you have a drink?
I did want to like find like a map of the West, or at least like something like that I could like scope out. Like,
Yeah.
is there one that would be like for sale or something?
Yeah, you could definitely buy one for like, you could probably buy a cheap one for a silver.
I still want to steal stuff.
Go in and just take a scroll off the wall and walk away.
I'll pay silver for it. I'm okay with doing that. I just want the practice. And I wanted to kind of like compare the wolf map of the Underdark to like what this map was, and see like where the closest like orc fort would be from that place, see where my dad could have ran to.
Okay. Interesting. Gorbjorn splays out his maps, pens in hand, and looks at them. And he looks at them
Very angrily, mind you.
so mad, partially from what the maps represent, partially because maps. I would say that I'm feeling kind of nice, so maybe I'll do survival.
Cool. Ooh. So that's a dirty 20.
There you go. The man knows a map, it seems. If I know anything, it map. We find out stuff about Gorbjorn daily. Easy enough to like look at two maps and be like, yeah, I can see where these are supposed to be on each other. And you can, even if you want to take the time with that dirty 20, you can take the time to actually sort of sketch out what the map you just bought is missing. A lot of the times when it comes to the valley being included in a map, it is artist interpretation. And you're like, I know a little bit more.
So I'll get my green crayon and
Here there be monsters.
They're like, no, actually, and then there's a big crack in the ground right here. You are able to start sort of translating the map you found in the orc encampment onto this map. And it's it's gonna take you some time. It is a lot of filling in blanks that you weren't exactly expecting, because it's like they've left almost every detail they physically could out of the valley, and the things they put in aren't right. So it's fixing and being like scribbling something out with your crayon, like that doesn't exist. But you are able to start working on that, and I will give you some details about that later.
Sounds good.
Perfect. As where do you set up? I just want the mental image of where you're doing map stuff.
I feel like in my little shack that's like made of plywood and it's got like a bunch of holes in it, and there's just like one candle in there, just kind of like above the map, so I could like stencil over them, kind of thing.
He does know that he can come to Gullundyr and hang there, and like he could have a bed if he wanted one, right?
I'm
He's
working-
aware.
I have a bed. It's,
Okay.
It's like a
Mo-
pile of like furs on the floor.
Okay.
Motions to pile of furs.
It-
How dare you?
so long as he is happy, that's all I care about.
He's happy. His brain, the wheels in his brain are turning so damn fast.
That hamster's like going real hard.
You have to take breaks to be like, I gotta go run around or something. I gotta go do something.
I gotta do a bunch of dodge rolls down the hill.
Yeah, I need
Try and
to
sneak
stealth
some
through
coppers
town.
onto my wolves.
But this feels like something that would take a lot of time, so I don't feel like I have time to do
This is
anything
gonna
else.
take you probably a good chunk of the rest of your downtime.
That sounds good.
But it's something to work on. I'm going to go back over to Fen, who is currently being stalked by a small bird who is just watching you from a branch in a tree from like a good distance away, but is just now watching you and just sitting there and just watching.
So the seeds that the bird has been dropping into my hood, Fen's gonna start like planting those, but he's also gonna start turning over rocks and seeing if he can find grubs and worms and things like that, little small crawly things. And he's gonna at first leave them where they're exposed and obvious, and hopefully she takes them and realizes what he's doing. But Fen knows where to find those things, and she's a very, very small bird, so she probably can't turn over rocks on her own. And it's getting cold. And it's getting cold, so there's probably less flying insects about. So yeah, Fen's gonna do what he can to provide some food for her.
Yeah. She watches you from the distance as you like turn over a rock, and you see like, okay, that's a good one. And you look at her and she just keeps watching, just like a little hop on the branch. And you just casually walk away, and she waits, and then she goes. And she's like, okay, gift received. I can't have it in front of you though. But if you continue to do this, she starts leaving the branch sooner, waiting for you to get less further and further away. And eventually, as you're walking around, you see her just sitting next to a rock on the ground, just sitting there and watching you.
Eventually, after days and days of doing this, Fen's gonna see if he can coax her to take a grub or something from his hand. Fen's pretty good at keeping real still and being patient, and most of the day he doesn't have much to do. It's like twilight is when the animals that he is hunting for Gullundyr are out, so he may be skinning a deer that he took that morning or something, but he doesn't have a whole lot to do out in the woods. He's just kind of trying to commune with nature a little bit.
Yeah, you approach on the day that you've tried this a couple times, and she's like, you can't trick me, good sir. I know you put them on the ground sometimes. But there's the day she's by the rock, and you like flip it over, and she does back up when you get close. She does back up, but she does not fly off to her branch. And you're able to like pick up one of these little bugs, and you just sort of hold it in your hand. And you can see her, it's basically a standoff for a hot moment of you waiting and her waiting, and the thing she expects to happen doesn't fully happen, and you're still there, and the bug is still there. And you can almost see her little like bird brain trying to like suss out the situation as much as a bird can have critical thinking. And eventually, after a couple tries of this, the bird eventually lands on your hand to take the grub.
I'll just let her have it, and I'll just say, "Hello there. I'm glad you're keeping me company out here. It's nice to have you around. I've enjoyed hearing you sing, and I've even noticed that you sing when something's around or something's approaching, and that's useful. If you stay with me, I'll continue to give you these things. I'm just glad to have you here."
And it looks like she's considering you through your whole conversation while speaking to her. Like it's like she's looking at you. Like
I don't expect that she understands. I just think that Fen hasn't talked to anyone in days, so he's just having a conversation with this tiny little bird.
Yeah. And once you finished speaking, the bird sort of hops around a bit, and just because of the size of it, it doesn't really hurt. But again, like pecks a couple times at your palm to see if there are any more hiding bugs. There aren't. And then takes off to watch you from the branches. But each day she becomes a closer and closer companion, and seems to be starting to lose that skittishness. Even you get like one of those like little like a finger head pat in. And that like just kind of makes them bounce slightly. And then she's like, I don't know what that was, and then flies away. But each day just a little closer to bonding.
So Fen, when he's obviously gonna keep feeding her in that same way, but as he's turning over stones, and while he's hunting, he'll and he sees a stone, he'll turn it over, a log or something, and he's gonna start collecting some things, some of these bugs and grub, and he's going to start drying them out on the fire and just kind of keep some of them in his pocket. So at any time he could just pull one out if he notices her while he's away from camp or something like that, and feed her that they might not be fresh and juicy anymore, but it's still protein, still calories for a tiny little bird. So
yeah. You spend your time in the woods hunting, and just sitting there, sometimes occasionally drying some bugs out by the fire for your new friend. The only person
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the things that Fen's doing is usually probably about 3 or 4 in the morning before twilight. He takes whatever he's gathered and he leaves it outside the gate at Gullundyr. If he takes a deer, he usually keeps the pelt for himself, and he's gonna start tanning some of these, and he's hoping he can trade that in towards the purchase of some new armor at some point. But he knows it's gonna be a long time before he's got enough to pay for that. But he's just hoping that works towards that, because right now he's just in clothes, whatever's warm at this point.
he How many nights does he do this?
Fen currently has not really come back. You have not seen Fen again.
Okay.
At this time, Fen has not been just like, oh, there he is in Gullundyr, and can give him a wave. That is not
okay.
happening.
He's just been out in the woods doing his woodsman thing.
Sometimes you gotta do woodsman shit. Sometimes. Okay. And then aggressive pull back to where we were is the team riding into town, Saga and Egill. When you enter the entrance of Gullundyr, you can see that there is a freshly caught deer set up outside, and you see Egill glance over at it. How about when you pick that up and we can bring it in for him? And one of the guys like leans down off the horse a bit and like pulls, like one-armed pulling a deer onto the horse with him on the back. I'm sure they'll appreciate us moving that for them. Now, where can we get you something to eat, Miss Saga?
Oh, well, I only mostly know the one tavern. That's the one that Roshan is always at. We could just go there. Maybe we can see him. Oh, you know what? I think he'd like to see you too. Yeah.
How interesting. You can tell me about that on the way over.
Okay.
And the horse slowly, sugar meandering towards
I
the
braided her hair on the way here.
just a fully braided mane.
Yep.
Well, now we're twins. Ain't that cute? Now let's see. You'll have to point me the way. This is my first time in Gullundyr.
Oh yeah, I've only been here like twice. That way.
There is some sort of like serpentining, but eventually you guys get to the Hartsville Inn.
We take the scenic route.
Yeah, we
We can
take
see Gullundyr.
As you're on the horse with him, you end up going by the statue of Golveg, and you can hear him mumble under his voice. That's fucking morbid.
We
As
have
you
I tell him about the ritual.
interesting. I don't usually this soiree into Your Lady Satyr has been really my most detailed soiree into religion.
Oh wow. I'm honored. And I'm sure the lady is too. That's wonderful.
Well, hopefully I continue to honor her. And you guys make your way past the statue, which he takes like one more glance back at, and like, just kind of a sound under his breath. As you go to the inn, he goes outside and he jumps off, and then he reaches up with both hands. Scoot forward. Come here.
Oh. Okay.
And he lifts you off the horse. There you go. Sugar's temperamental, and I just do not want you getting bucked off.
Oh, thank you.
One moment, and I will accompany you inside. And he turns to the group of men who did not get off their horses. All right, how about you go get our dear friend? I'll see you in a few days. And the men just turn and start heading back outside of Gullundyr. They're going to bring us our architect.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Well, what's their name?
Well, the thing is, Miss Saga, sometimes when you're in a particular profession, you change it.
Okay.
So when she arrives, I'm sure she will introduce herself, and then I will use that name.
Oh, that's fancy. I've never met somebody like that.
It is
That'd be
pretty
hard to keep
fancy.
track of. Yeah.
It,
Let's go see.
it
I'm so
certainly
hungry.
is.
We should go inside. Yeah.
I agree. Let's get something to eat. And he takes you inside. It's later in the day. You do not see Roshan here yet.
I was gonna start yelling for him.
You walk in, Roshan. And
Eagle's here to see you.
you see that
Oh, it's your crush.
his aunt starting to like pour a drink and then just like jerks aggressively when you shout when you enter. Shit. Rose not here yet. He should be here in a bit.
Oh, okay. I'm his friend, Saga. You met me a few times.
Uh-huh.
This is our other friend. He's here as well.
It is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Egill. And he comes forward and he takes a seat at the bar in front of her, and he pats the seat next to him. Miss Saga and I would love to partake in whatever you think is best today. And she looks him over, and you can see, like, Saga, give me insight.
Okay.
You know what you can see? Maybe something.
Okay. I look.
I look.
First roll of the game. That's a 1.
Hell yeah,
I look
And-
in the other direction.
I can only think about pie. I haven't had
Yeah.
pie in
Mm.
so long.
You're just breathing hard and staring at a big thing of pie, like just breathing hard.
Yeah,
Um,
whatever would be good.
Yeah. And he looks over at you. I'm gonna have Eagle roll insight. So with almost a 30, and
See, like my pupils
sorry,
turned
what?
into pies.
he takes like half a glance in your direction. And if it is not too much trouble, ma'am, would you please get my friend here a slice of pie, pre-dinner pie? And she's like, and she looks over, it's like, sure, no problem, yeah, pre-dinner pie. And you're presented with a large slice of pie. And you don't really focus on the conversation too hard.
Sadly, no.
But he has kicked off a conversation with Rose Ant, and they are just talking back and forth.
Okay. I keep an ear out for anything that has to do with Lady Satyr, though,
Okay.
or other religious
Yeah.
people.
You're like, any gods, come on, give me
Yeah.
a spot to jump in. Segue.
Yeah.
Sadly, you do not in their conversation hear any talk of gods.
Shucks.
But you keep listening out. And your food is brought, drink is bought. Miss Saga, if I recall, when you were at my establishment, you did not request a drink. I believe I just gave you a bunch of sugar cubes.
Mhm.
Is there something equivalent to a drink that is just a bunch of sugar cubes? And she's like, let me take a look. And he's like,
Juice?
so where I come from, we have this drink. And he starts talking to her. And about this time, Ro, you have finished your conversation with Nana. You have finished your work for the day. You have floated that baby across a room and put it in the crib. You give Hertha a hug goodbye, and each day she seems more willing to accept this hug. Like she just seems to stiffen up the first couple days, and then eventually begins to like return this hug, because you can see that when she returns it, her fortitude wavers. And you give her this hug and you head back, and you see there's a fully braided horse just chilling outside of the inn. And when you walk inside, you hear a familiar voice. See, and what you do is you have to make sure that you heat the tea up first so that you can melt all the sugar crystals. And by sugar, I mean literally however much sugar you have in your establishment is how much you would be putting into that pot. And then
That sounds so good.
it's so damn good. And you cool it down and you put ice cubes in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, some people put lemon, but you know, lemon ain't
And
real
then do you do
common
the
here.
sugar rim thing like the other lady did? Is it crunchy too?
See, where I'm from personally, we try to avoid them being crunchy, but I'm sure we could, you know, acquiesce. We could assist you if that is your interest. And you see your aunt looks over at you. Hi, Ro, your friend's here.
So Roshan at this point had probably gotten halfway across the bar area to go to his room and like change or something.
Let me put my face on.
So he turns over. Hi. Well, welcome, Egill and Saga. When did you get into town?
Oh, well, me and Miss Saga just got into town. I guess about an hour ago. I've been a bit distracted by this very charming conversation I've been having. And you can see her aunt go psh, and start like goes to pour somebody else's drink. How about you take a seat with us?
Only if my aunt will allow it. She's kind of also my boss.
She is going to roll insight. She is not Eagle. You can sit with your friends, and by sit with your friends, I mean you can serve them drinks at the bar.
All right.
I do appreciate a businesswoman. See, got to stick to your guns on this kind of shit. No leniency.
So yeah, he will grab an apron and then take her place in the conversation.
He continues his conversation about his drink, which he refers to as sweet tea, and continues speaking about it. Now, I see you do a lot of food and drink here. I'm opening my own establishment as well, and I would hate to encroach. That is the last thing I would like to do. So, still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do here. Any ideas, Miss Saga? Roshan?
Bakery.
Is there already a baker in town? Because I'll put him out of business.
Oh, there is probably one.
Yeah, there's a baker.
My last place was a bit of a lounge. We did serve drink, but we also provided something for people to smoke. Any of that in here?
No, Frigga likes to keep the air pretty clean in here.
Well, then
She doesn't like coughing.
Well, then I think I may know my niche.
There's also no gambling in town.
Just Gorbjorn in the back.
He rolls in.
Also, hey, what if there was something to do with all my money?
Dodge rolls into town, into the inn, rolls through. What about gambling? And out the door again.
Now, Mr. Gorbjorn has the right idea. I do need to check, though, with your chief to make sure it is not illegal. Some people aren't exactly into the dice.
Understandable, yeah. I don't see a problem with that myself, but as long as you've got many brightly colored cushions.
Oh, that is certainly my specialty. And he continues the conversation, and he looks over at Saga. Miss Saga, it is starting to get a bit late, and I just want to make sure, because if you have forgotten, you said you would like to go send a letter.
My gosh, I almost forgot.
Again,
Shovel the last of the pie. Oh, I'm gonna go do that now. You guys have a really good time. I'll talk to you later, Rashawn. And then she's out the door.
Roshan, you're going to have to show me around town and maybe explain that spooky ass statue to me.
oh, that is the statue of Gullundyr.
She doesn't look like she's having a good time.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how magic was born.
Well, thank you to her.
Do you know the
then.
myth?
I most certainly do not.
Well, I mean, I'll just get to the end part. The most exciting part is she got stabbed by a spear and it killed her, but then she came back and she got stabbed by another spear and that killed her, and then she came back and then she got stabbed by a third spear and that killed her, and she came back and then she got set on fire and that didn't kill her. So then, you know, I feel like there's probably some part missing in the myth to explain what really happened, but that's how magic was born.
Interesting. It sort of sounds like the people trying to kill your Gullundyr are bad at their job.
Yeah, probably. That makes sense.
Yeah. Can't do the same thing over and over again. That's ridiculous.
So now we burn the statue several times a year.
Well, hopefully I'll get to witness that.
Yeah, we actually just did it at the beginning of the week as part of a ritual we performed right when we got back.
And also, I would like to just carry over my condolences.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Of course. And he like taps his glass slightly. How about we fill this up? One more drink. You show me spooky statue.
Did Frigga look like she was listening in?
She looks like she's working.
I'll have to ask my aunt if I can get away. Is it a busy night or?
It's not a very busy night.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. 'Cause-
Of course. I'll give you any backup if you need it. And Saga, you, the fastest mode of transportation you have, it seems to get around Gullundyr, is skipping, as you just full speed skip over to the mail center. And you see that old man there again. Oh,
Okay.
are you ready to send your letter?
Yes, I am. I do have it. Can I write it here? Or should I
Oh.
write it at home and then?
You can write it here. You could write it here right on the counter.
Okay. Then she'll get some paper. If I think I need to buy some paper. I don't have any paper.
He gave you a free piece of paper for your first
He
letter.
gave me a perfect. Okay, then I put down that paper and I get my blue ink and I can start writing. Do you want me to send you it or would you like me to read it out loud?
Whichever you'd prefer. If you'd like to read it out loud, you can. And then she sent it to me.
It's just a little. It's Saga's letter, so it's a little long.
I mean, you're welcome to just send it to me or give us a Cliff Notes.
What time
Whatever
is
you
it?
prefer.
I can read it. I just don't know. Here. Okay.
How
Guys,
about
all right? Do you guys? What do you guys? I'll do a vote. What do you guys? Do you want to hear it or not?
Read it
Okay.
in the Lady Satyr voice.
it has nothing to do with Lady Satyr. Well, it probably has a lot to do with Lady Satyr. That's a lie.
Okay. I'll add this. There's some smiley faces in there. I'll just say smiley face whenever there's a smiley face.
Perfect.
Okay. Hello, B. Smiley face. Thank you for the letter. This is my first ever. I've written a letter. I've never written a letter either, so it's pretty exciting. I'm not sure why you'd worry if I wouldn't answer. I hope you send a whole bunch more. Smiley face. I miss you, and I'm so proud of you for following your prophecy, but it really sucks that you had to leave the group, and I'm really sure most of the others really miss you too. But you're right, though. Lady Satyr will guide us back together for sure. Oh, guess what? We finally made it back to Gullundyr, and we've completed the prophecy. It was pretty sad, but it was also really happy. It's like kind of like the two of us. We've got I've got my next prophecy from Lady Satyr. So I bet it'll bring us back together. I think we might need to cross the path of Mjolnir in the future. For now, we're just sitting in Gullundyr. We also seem to have a bounty on our heads. Oops. Lady Satyr helped us sort out the worst of it. The part with like the kidnapping and all. But overall, the bounty's still there. We're just being really careful. I'm sure the lady will keep me safe, and I'm doing my best to help the others. Oh, and just I haven't seen any cats yet, so that part of the prophecy hasn't happened yet. I almost forgot to mention, I built a temple to Lady Satyr, and Tordrick is helping me do cleric things. I'm a cleric of the lady now. If you want to pay respects for the goddess, I drew a map to the crossroads on the back of this letter. Do you like the blue ink? I bought it at the post office. Our new friend Egill said he would help me build out the temple even nicer. He was a little rude at first when I met him. He tried to sell us to slavery, but he's come around, I think, and he's been wearing the Lady Satyr symbol a lot. I have a lot more to tell you, but I'm running out of paper. A lot of sad stuff happened, and it's made me think a lot. And I really hope to see you soon, so I can tell you everything that you missed. I can't wait to hear about all your travels. Trust in the lady to show you the path. Love, Saga Bloom.
He looks at the note. That's a pretty good letter. Let me help you get that ready. And he zhuzhes it up and he puts a little seal on it. It's a bit late today, but I'll send it bright and early tomorrow. This one's on the house. Don't you worry about it.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I really appreciate it.
Oh,
I'm sure I'll have lots more letters.
that's very exciting. I did have a question before I forget. I keep getting letters for people I don't exactly know and do not have houses here. Do you happen to know somebody named Fen?
Oh, I do, yes.
Would you like to take his letter?
Is that okay? I can find him. He usually kind of just like sits in shadows. So I'm sure I could probably find him one of those.
That sounds incredibly hard for me to find, so I feel fine giving you this letter. I'm sure it's good. And he hands a letter to you that says Fen on the front. All right, there you go.
I'll go find him.
Just into the woods in the middle of the night.
Yep, she just skips into the woods.
Okay.
She's hang on. Just Saga like skipping through town, just without a care in the world, middle of the night. Well, I don't know how late it is exactly,
the sun
but
is, by the time she hits the woods, it'll be sundown. It only seems fair to put somebody in her path so she doesn't go into the woods at night and never return.
She's been living in the woods for a week already.
She's like, I just
Like
back
a
into the
temple.
woods then.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll skip by my place and I'll be like,
Yeah,
what?
Gorbjorn's out there.
Fen's out there. And
Let's make my wolves howl.
come eat my wolves.
Saga, you start to skip your way into the woods. Nana, I'll let you see the aggressive skipping woman making her way across town. And that is where we are going to take our break. Thank you all so much for being with us so far. We'll get back to it in about 10 minutes. So if you got to get a snack, go get a snack. We'll be back in 10.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Backs of Gods, episode 43. It's what the people tell me. I still don't fully believe it, but that's fine. I'm at 44 in my mind. Just deep into the abyss already.
I mean, that's because of the commentary episode, really.
Yeah, that's what you're counting.
Technically I'm right, but also not right. So we just took our break, and the team was doing a lot of downtime activities, doing a lot of research, a lot of nerd shit, even from Gorbjorn, a lot of nerd shit today. And also Egill came to town and has made his way to the Heartsfill Inn and has struck up a conversation with Roshan and Miss Saga. Miss Saga, who is now full speed skipped over to send her letter to Bragi, and then was given a letter addressed to Fen, which she starts to skip her way out of town. Nana, you've just left Hertha's place, so you can see Saga merrily skipping off. So you're just welcome to let her live her life, which you never know what she's up to anyways, but...
Yeah, but she does seem, I would guess, like she's heading for the gate out of town.
Oh, she's
And
100%
it's getting on
heading out
sundown.
of town. Woman on a mission, look in her eyes.
Saga, are you headed back to your temple? Or, where are you going?
No. Well, I actually finally remembered to send my letter back to Bragi, and while I was at the post office, I guess they got this letter for Fen, and he didn't know what shadow Fen was in, so I thought that I'd go figure it out.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I haven't seen Fen, unfortunately, in a few days, but I'm certain he shouldn't be too difficult to track down. He said he would stick close by to town, so I know a few good hunting areas that he and I and Gorbjorn frequented a lot before we went on our journey. I'll show you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just gonna go out there and yell, but that'll work too.
Yes, I think this would be perhaps a little more efficient and also less chance of running into something large that might not like us barging into their home.
Like Gorbjorn, or?
Well, Gorbjorn would be more forgiving. Gorbjorn would be much more forgiving than, say, a bear or a boar or, any number of wild animals out there. Not just corrupted creatures to worry about,
Nana, I'd love to just give you a slight tidbit, if I could be so bold.
Please do.
You're a very good ranger, and tracking is something you're very good at.
Mm-hmm.
How far ahead of you can you see at night? I'm just curious. It's just going to make it harder. You can still track, but it's going to make it a lot harder.
I have a solution. We go find Gorbjorn first. He can see everything now.
I could just do this. Dancing jellyfish lights 120 feet around us.
And now you are a beacon in the middle of Gullundyr.
Yeah.
Beautiful beacon.
It's totally fine.
Not the stealthy approach, but not a bad one. Let's head on, shall we? And we'll make our way back when we've given Fen his letter.
If I was a bear, I don't think I'd want to attack a glowing jellyfish creature.
Well, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Could one of you roll me a D8, please?
A D8?
Is that how many bears there are?
I want to kill
Want it,
things.
Saga, or shall I?
Gorbjorn just runs full
I
speed
did.
into the woods,
Go ahead.
sensing carnage.
5.
Jesus.
Okay.
5 bears? No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
I hope.
I am going to ask Fen to roll me a stealth check. And if he gets any advantages from the fact that he has been traveling in the woods for well over an hour, he can take them.
Well
Over an hour. Nana, you also may make a perception check. Even though we have all of these fine jellyfish, I may be giving you disadvantage anywho.
Can I
Um,
make a
Understandable.
check as well, or
Sure. Both of you can make a perception check with disadvantage.
All right. So Fenn's not like hiding.
But he has been hunting, which means
Yeah.
he can't bulldoze through the woods.
They could find his camp because there'd probably be some embers and stuff, some smoke coming off the fire. But
Yeah, what was your
yeah,
survival?
I rolled a 27 on the stealth check. So
What did you nerds get?
I'm gonna use my Tides of Chaos to get this to be a straight roll.
Cool. And then I'd love to see what
Fair.
sort of magic bursts out of you instantly. That'll be
Oh
good.
God.
Let me get my paper.
Okay.
My disadvantage perception was a 10, just for a record.
Another creature. So that doesn't help me. All right. Well, it's a 20, not a
Ooh,
27.
not
Oh
bad.
no.
Goodness. Go ahead and roll me that D100 if you'd be so
Oh,
kind.
okay.
I want it right now.
Okay, you were serious when you said that. All right.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I want it right now. As you run towards the woods.
61. I should pull it up.
You start making your way. Is it for the best? Maybe. Right as you are about to hit the edge of the woods, you like feels a little wet on your face. And you like look over at Nana to be like, did something hit you in the face as well and make your face wet?
Rain.
And Nana, you see that like a damn waterfall, blood is pouring out of Saga's nose. An incredibly terrible nosebleed. Just a flood of blood leaving her body from the nostrils.
Oh, Saga, here. Hold on. I've got a hanky. Here you go.
Ah!
gives Saga a handkerchief and kind of helps her like dab away the worst of it from her face and her mouth. Poor thing. I think I've got another cloth somewhere. I can help you with your blouse.
A moment passes and eventually you guys are able to quell the bleeding, but it was a mess. Like
here you go. Tilt your head back. Tilt your head back.
I guess I should sit down for a second. Everything is spinning.
That's very understandable. Here you go. Nana will kind of gently like ease her down onto like a stump or a rock or something off to one side of the path and like kind of like just keep an eye on her. And
I think I was looking so hard that I broke my brain.
it
popped.
so hard.
It was.
you always did put in 110%.
Nana,
Blood is so hard to get out of clothing. This is terrible.
Yeah,
I'm
Nana,
so sorry.
she is covered in blood. You are now also covered in blood. I would love Nana. This isn't going to be the check that you're thinking it is, but because you're very aware, probably being covered in blood, probably not a good thing. This isn't what this is about. I would love a wisdom check.
All right.
I just want to preface this.
Maybe Fenn will be able to find us easier now that we made a trail.
Oh God.
Fenn's
Well,
like,
we
"What the
haven't
fuck
gotten too
happened
far
here?"
into the woods yet.
What the fuck is this?
Bad. That's a 16.
Okay. I am going to roll something as well. Bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is not debilitating, but there is a moment where a thought pushes its way into your mind and you are able to swat it away, but it's something that you've been able to sort of bury for a while. You look at Saga's blood on the ground, and now in the moonlight, it starts to get incredibly like black visually. And you remember a very insane man talking to you about how every single drop of blood, every piece of you goes into the earth and feeds corruption. And there's just a moment where you remember that. And it's just a bit unsettling. It's not debilitating, but there's just a moment where you are unsettled.
Let's not leave this. I guess just out and about. You sit and take care of your nose. I'll clean this up a bit. No sense in drawing wild predators to Gullunder's very doorstep. They'd be able to
I'm
smell the
so
blood a
sorry.
long way away. Oh, you have nothing to apologize for.
I'll just she'll. Does Nana seem a little worked up? Saga can move the blood together in one pile using mold earth. Just kind of gather it up.
He makes a bowl of blood in the
Yeah.
That's very efficient.
Yeah, it's all in one spot now.
That's perfect. That's very
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh golly, what am I gonna do with this?
I'm just gonna lay down for a second.
That's all right. That's all right. You collect yourself. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Nana, easy enough to sort of at least make it not, a pile of blood, piece of fabric, easy enough to at least get some of it up and spread it around a bit less like it's going to attract something in the night, unavoidable. Some little animal is going to be like, that's pretty rad, and
Yeah.
make its way over there. Hopefully it's not something big, but you are able to sort of at least expunge it a bit.
Yeah.
But as you do this, it gets the sun increasingly becomes there's no more sun. And Saga's laying splayed out on the ground. And it's
like
blood all over you.
if this lasted, like it says till the start of your next turn, so it would have been like a minute, because it's in around a minute.
Around is
it's
like
like 6 seconds, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's only 6 seconds.
No,
Okay.
it was just an aggressive like boosh. And, like I'm gonna die.
I mean, I would be terrified of 6 seconds worth of heavy nose bleeding.
Oh yeah, it was a nightmare.
Your blood is
sounds
just like
like an-
eject.
It sounds like a hentai protagonist problem.
Boof. Just into the
Sanji.
but Nana, you could continue forward if you would like to, but now there is some challenges added on to it.
I don't suppose you happen to know prestidigitation by any chance, do you, dear?
If I did, I would get the blood off of this letter.
Oh dear.
Oh god, you give Fen a letter covered in blood. Like, what the fuck happened?
I'm
Trying
so
to remember
sorry.
if anybody in town knows prestidigitation.
I had one job. Oh, I think Ro knows that one. He does. The oh wait. Oh, it's not as helpful. Never mind. I learned a new thing from Lady Satyr. But I think it might only help in maybe finding Fen.
Ooh.
Should I do it?
Really?
Yeah.
Why not? Yes, let's
Okay.
go ahead with it. We'll explain to him what happened.
Okay, I stand up, and I put my hands here, and I yell Fen, and it's so loud, it's 3 times louder than normal. I'm using thaumaturgy to yell. I said I was gonna go out here and yell for him.
Well, I just went back to my plan.
I didn't realize we were going back to your plan. That's all right. Ah,
Fen,
Yeah,
I'd love a perception
very
check.
loud.
Kind.
I just look up from my map. I'm like, oh, that wasn't my name.
Not me.
Not my name they're calling.
That's a dirty 20.
Oh, wow.
By the time it hits you, it's not exactly, the boom that it was, but you can hear from the distance, Ben, and like somebody shouting for you from the distance.
So yeah, I mean, it depends on what tone she said it in.
What
Oh,
sort of
just
tone?
normal.
Yeah, just like she's
Okay,
calling
so
you
it
over.
didn't sound like she was like terrified or anything like that. She wasn't shouting
No.
for. Didn't sound
Nah.
Okay, so Fenn's gonna make his way off in that direction. No attempts to conceal himself. He doesn't need to sneak up on Saga. He just hears her out here. So he's not gonna run because he doesn't think she's in danger or anything, but he's not hiding from her. So
Yeah.
he's gonna make his way towards them.
Yeah, it takes you a bit to get there, but eventually you get there. A little startling is probably the intense smell of blood that hits you when you get to them, but they're both sitting there. Besides the fact that they're covered in blood, they seem okay.
Nana's like kind of tending to Saga a little bit and like offering her another hanky, a drink of water.
What the hell happened to you two?
think I need a
Saga
cookie.
had a bit of a nosebleed. Unfortunately, rather sudden.
I came out here. Nana was helping me find you. I have got a letter for you. I'm sorry, it's got some blood on it now. You got a letter.
Thank
From the
you.
post office.
Come back this way. I've got a camp set out here. Just come back. We'll get you patched up and cleaned up.
That would be very, very much appreciated.
Thank you.
All right. I'll just lead them back to where my camp is.
Nana will kind of like gently, kind of like just not necessarily having Saga lean on her, but kind of like leading her along.
Saga
with
fully,
Saga.
like, let's
Okay. All right. Here you go.
Still dealing with just the mental image of Fen being echoed on the wind, and Gorbjorn with like little glasses on, like looks up from his maps and is like, "Nope, I'm
Not
not
me. I'm not
Goes
Fen.
back to work.
I know
I'm
better.
Gorbjorn.
I imagine more of like that, like little 5-year-old holding a crayon over like his
Oh
like
my
restaurant thing, and then looking up and like, nope.
They didn't call for Gorbjorn. Back to work. Now you all know you have to be very specific if you want Gorbjorn to show up.
I guess so.
But Fen leads you out to a little camp in the woods, just a pretty easy setup. You guys have been chilling in, the outside for a while, so you guys have all the tools you need to survive there efficiently. But all of you get to his little camp.
I'm
Red.
sorry, I've only got the one bedroll. But I can
That's okay.
throw something
been
together with
sleeping in-
pine boughs or something for one of you. But I assume at this hour you'll be staying the night.
It is
Oh,
rather late at this point, and probably not for the best if we try making our way back through the woods, particularly given neither Saga nor I have particularly far-reaching night vision, and Saga, I'm afraid it wouldn't be a very good idea for you to strain yourself too much right now.
All right, well, here, and I'll just hand the water skin to Saga and clean yourself up with this. When it's empty, let me know. We're not far from the creek. I'll get you some more water. We'll get you cleaned up, get that blood off of you. Fen's gonna go and strip a little bit of bark off of a pine tree. If you take the lining of this bark, the soft bit, and you kind of peel it off and just kind of stuff it up there, it'll stop sickness from setting in. It's not as good as a healing potion, but it's something.
okay. All right.
I'm
Do you have
assuming
any-
this is something that Fen's done.
Yeah, Nana would know how to do this too, like using pine bark to
Yeah,
treat
it's
wounds
like a
and stuff
tampon.
like that. It's what's that?
The
I was gonna say a
oldie nose
Band-Aid.
tampon.
It's ye olde nose tampon. You're
Yeah.
fine. Fen,
Whole
you are now
bark
also
bit,
holding
just the soft bits
letter.
on the inside. Just peel it off onto your fingernail and just roll it up.
Nana will kind of
funny.
Nana will assist her in getting some of that off of the bark and rolling it up in a way that will be pleasant for the nose or less unpleasant.
Right. Make yourselves comfortable. There's some jerky there in that bag. I'm gonna run down to the creek really fast and get some more water. Only about 50 yards or so from the fresh water. And I'll be right back. We'll get
Is
you
the
both
bird
cleaned
around?
up.
I'll
bird
let you
around.
guys do some perception checks to see if that little wren's hanging about. Where else would I go at night?
Oh, that was a
17.
bad roll for me.
Yeah,
I-
Saga, would you get 17?
Mhm.
You'd see a little bird chilling up on a branch. It looks like that bird is like curled up for bed. It does not look like it's active and peeping about, but you just see a little bird just relaxing.
Okay.
Chilling.
Doesn't look like.
I wouldn't notice anything weird about it yet.
Yeah,
so,
currently
yeah.
bird not weird.
Okay.
Bird sleep.
I'm probably just sleepy.
Sleepy bird in
You're
sleepy
like,
forest.
I relate.
Yeah,
Fan, you
yeah.
go to the creek. Are you just getting water, or are you also going to read your letter?
I'm gonna wait till I get back to the fire to read the letter. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm just fetching water for them. They can have whatever perception checks or whatever conversation between them they need to.
Are you doing
I-
all right, Saga?
Yeah, I'm all right. I mean, I think this might have had something to do with the magic. Probably. That's usually what happens when something like this happens, usually.
That does seem to happen quite a lot around you when you do your magic, you poor thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know which one it was. Usually the lights are fine. I'm not sure what I did this time. I was just looking really hard. Oh, I think I asked Lady Satyr to help me look, but I tend to ask her a lot of questions, so.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope that it won't make you worse for wear in the long term.
I think it'll be fine. I'm just a little tired now. You
Of
know, it's a
course.
really good thing that your god just doesn't like make you do anything like this to you when she gives you magic and stuff. That's good.
Not that Ave ever mentioned that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Nor have we any tales in our legends in the village of sudden nose gushers or sudden disappearing acts or anything
Yeah.
of that nature.
Oh, I forgot, did I mention to you, when I was with Fen and the lady who you guys talked to, we were meeting her outside of town, a gem came out of my eyeball. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like a full gem. I still have it. Pull out like a full like huge
Pulls out
sapphire.
a humongous sapphire.
That came out of your eye?
Yeah, she looked really disturbed. I kind of feel bad for her. She had to watch the whole thing. Yeah.
I can
But-
understand that.
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
No, not at all. Yeah, I don't know what it was doing up there. I mean, I'm assuming I'm probably a lot smarter now. I have more brain space.
Fen, you
We
come
can
back
only
while they're talking
assume.
about Saga's new brain space, and you
Yeah,
give
so
them
as Fenn's walking back up, he hears that came out of your eye, and he's, oh God, so she poked herself in the eye now.
No,
He
it's
runs
not-
up and it's no.
All right,
Oh,
well, this is home for now. Welcome. You said you had a letter for me, Saga.
Yes. Yeah, it's here. I straightened it out. It's probably pretty squished by now, and it's got some blood on it, but I handed.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. You didn't have to come all the way out here to give this to me. I'd have been back in town at some point,
Well,
but I certainly appreciate it, and I'm sorry for the trouble you've gone through.
no, it's just so exciting to get a letter, and like I was really excited when I got my first letter, and I don't know if this is your first one or if you're like an experienced letter getter, but are you gonna read it or are you just gonna like?
Yes, I suppose so. I can read it.
well, if you want some privacy, that's fair. But
Oh no, it's fine. I'm sure there's nothing in here that can't be heard by either of you. We've shared camp. We've made water in the same bushes. I don't think there's any secrets amongst us after the journey we've been on.
Right, Fen,
Not
so you're
many.
going to open your letter and read it. Are you going to read it out loud or just read it to yourself first?
First thing Fenn's going to do is look to the bottom of the letter and see who it's from.
It's from Marsh.
Okay. All right. It's from my father.
Oh,
Father.
I suppose I read this out loud. I don't. Again, no secrets between us.
Then...
I want to know what a dad is like.
Oh, Saga!
Nobody seems to have one around here, so.
Mine's kind. He's soft spoken. He's fine. he's got high expectations, but he's not quite as demanding as my mother or any of the other matriarchs of the village. He's a good man.
Hope everything's well with him.
He writes, Fen, I'm happy you are well. We were sick with worry. An empty home can be unnerving. I do not write this letter to beg you to return, but thought this information could not wait. Your mother has gone to the waterfall. I know not why. I watched her fade for some time. I do not know if this was from the unknown fates of her children or the corruption that seeped from the mountain. Maybe both. She would not tell me. She just said that she must leave. I hope you can find whatever it is you could not find here. And
let me explain something that you would know about. The phrase amongst elves, going to the waterfall, it is a slightly ambiguous term, but it is often used when an elf is done existing, that they go to some mystical place, and some people believe it is a physical place, some people think it is a metaphysical place, some people believe there's a physical waterfall that people go to just live. But your mother has said she is going to the waterfall, and it is an open-ended question, but she has left home.
This is concerning, and
What does he mean? I don't know if Fen would have explained this turn of phrase to Nana previously.
It's not something that elves often talk about unless it happens, but these are people, when you go to the waterfall, you don't come back. And Fen's probably never known an elf that went to the waterfall. It's not something that happens very often. It's more folklore than anything, but this is what his father said happened.
it means my mother's left and doesn't
Gone on
intend
a
to.
trip?
A trip implies that you intend to return at some point. And this is at best moving home.
At best?
I've never known anyone to have gone to the waterfall, but from what I've heard, they don't return, and they're not heard from again. They don't write. They don't send word with a messenger. They're just gone.
Is there any folklore on where this waterfall is?
I have no idea. My mother was knowledgeable and well read, and if there was anyone that could find the waterfall, it would be her. But they don't speak that way of people that have just left town. My sisters that have left are not referred to in that way. They were not said to go to the waterfall. One went off to be a trader and travel and adventure, and the other was asked to leave the village before I was born. But I don't know what would lead my mother to leave or to seek the waterfall. She was a matriarch. It was her intention to have a higher standing. I'm hoping.
From what you're telling me, it sounds like this is the third leader of a major settlement in our region that has either left or died in these last months.
She's not a she's not the leader. She's a member of a council.
Oh, right.
But one of the leaders, one of the elder, the matriarchs of the community. She was definitely looked up to and respected. My father was just a tradesman, but all of our marriages were arranged. So my father's family did better out of that exchange than hers did. But yeah, I have no idea. I certainly hope it's not. I hope it's not my abandonment of my duty that's led her to leave. She always had the most interest in improving her station, to bring more influence and sway to our family. Why, now with no children at home, that seems unattainable, but I need to know when she left or why, if anyone spoke to her.
Well, we need to go get her before she's gone, because we gotta tell her that you did what was meant to be. Like, you followed the prophecy. Everything happened as it should. Maybe that would calm her mind a little bit.
Saga, my friend, I have followed Lady Sada's prophecy, but I have not followed the path that my parents have set out for me. My life has not turned out the way they had wished or had intended. I had not intended to go back to Briarwood for many years to come, for Briarheart rather, for many years to come, because I don't want to fulfill my own destiny. This is disturbing, and I need to find out about it. And the region very well may need to find out about it, because Nana, you might be correct that leaders are passing on or leaving, or in the case of Arentoff, losing their wits.
That's really strange.
These do seem like very unstable times. This is definitely something that ought to be looked into further, at the very least. Is there anything that we can do?
I don't know. I need to return to Briarheart, because I cannot think of another way to begin a journey to the waterfall, to seek out. I don't know the location of it. I'm not even sure if it's a euphemism or it's a physical place.
Well,
some of the older women would know. Whether they'd tell someone like me, that's yet to be seen.
I've never met that many elves before. I'd really like to go see where you come from, and I have a feeling, this seems like it must be part of the prophecy. I mean, the mailman couldn't find you, so he gave it to me, and then I gave it to you, and then waterfalls and stuff. Like the prophecy, one of the lines says something about spilling in excess. That could be water, maybe. I don't know. So maybe it'll take us there. But nobody really knows unless it happens.
I thought your prophecy was done, Saga.
I got the new one.
You got a new one.
Another?
Yes,
really?
Yes. It's very, very long and very, very complicated. But I think this one's going to be very interesting. The first couple lines are, you dwell in the shadow of a god-seen passive, cracks form at her heels. A bowl spills over, but where runs the excess? And maybe a waterfall is where the excess runs. I don't know.
Perhaps.
I know that Gullundyr needs Nana now. I'm not asking.
No, they have Hertha.
I understand. But I don't want to inconvenience anyone. You're welcome to accompany me. This might be This might be every bit as dangerous as the Valley of Odin was.
Well,
The waterfall is a place that people, wise, learned, experienced people do not come back from.
well, it must be a really nice place then. Damn.
I'll never grow tired of your optimism, Saga.
It's much needed. What say we sleep on this for the night? And maybe bring this up with some of the others tomorrow.
Mhm.
I don't think that we should talk about this letter with just anyone until we have a chance to figure out what it is we should do going forward. Fen, you aren't an inconvenience. You're a friend.
Mhm.
And on top of that, I'm not the chief. I'm helping Hertha with some of her letter writing, but once we're finished with that, I don't rightly know what else she might have for me to do. I do want to do some kindnesses for her before we do leave. But aside from that, I will be more than happy to assist you in finding your mother.
Thank you. Thank you, Nana. Do you both intend to stay here tonight?
I'm certainly not walking all the way back to Gullundyr.
I've got this. I've got a bedroll, and I can gather some pine boughs to make another.
You know I can take care of myself. I
And-
can.
Just make myself a dirt bed. It's okay.
Well,
He makes a dirt bed.
Nana, would you be interested in waking up a bit early and having a hunt so we can talk in the morning?
Certainly.
And
Like old times, right?
catch up. Saga, there's.
I'm not interested in that. No.
I understand you're not. There's
Okay.
venison and some eggs. They're grouse eggs. They're not chicken eggs. But they taste somewhat the same.
Grouse
Grouse.
eggs.
Yeah,
Grouse?
it's a ground bird.
Oh, okay.
Very small.
Yeah, there's. You can prepare breakfast, and if you may have more luck than I do. I'll point up to the branch that the wren is nesting on.
Oh yeah.
That's that wren has been hanging around for a few days now. I've come to call her Jenny. She's quite friendly. A bit timid. There are bugs in a little satchel over there. If you can gain her trust, she might eat them from your hand. But
Wow.
that might keep you entertained in the morning. Just be kind to her. She's a good friend. She's the friend I've had while I've been out here. So while Nana and I leave you alone, then maybe you can make friends with her as well.
Yes, I'll do my best. I think I have some birdseed actually. Yes.
All
The
the
wren, they will sometimes eat seed, but they prefer bugs.
Oh, I don't.
No, the bugs are they're not the tastiest thing.
Well, no, I mean like I don't want to touch. Like I don't prefer to touch them. So
Oh.
then
This
if
is
I
where I'm
use-
going to cut in as
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
that's a good idea.
continue to discuss.
Yeah,
the
just
bird
like
and the
chat
morning.
back and forth about the bird and
Yeah.
I'm going to veer back into Gullundyr for a bit. Roshan, you do try to get out of work and denied instantly. Not even a hesitant thought from your aunt about getting off early.
so rude.
Egill seems to fully understand because he's a businessman. That is all right. I am going to be in town for an extended period of time, and currently my business is not livable. So if you'd be so kind, I'd like to purchase a room.
Oh, of course. We're not busy, so we have plenty.
Give me a one if you have something more towards like a back corner, not near the entrance. I would
Oh.
appreciate that.
Sure, I thought you were going to ask for a fancy room, and they kind of only come in one flavor here. Just room. But
More of a location man myself.
yes, I kind of imagine the house, the inn is a crook and like one off the corner with one window, probably the safest.
That will do. I'm sure we'll see each other around.
Sure, and I suppose if you are still up, I usually finish cleaning up around, I don't know, 3 or 4 a.m. And you still want to have a tour, I can show you.
I don't know what about me screams like that I'm 18 and can handle that sort of schedule, but you are welcome. If I am able to stay awake until 4 a.m., Jesus Christ, you are welcome to knock softly on my door and see if I am still awake. Also, I'm an incredibly light sleeper, so it may just wake me up. I might take a nap.
All right.
Just like
I'll-
careless whisper.
I'll do that. Have a good night. Call down if you need anything before then.
Can do that. And he gets up and he is going to head up to his room. I am going to attempt, and people can stop me if they need to. I'm going to try and zhuzh through some things.
Ooh.
I would love to do a little zhuzhing.
Zhuzh away.
Roshan, if it would not hurt your feelings if your tour around town takes place, but it is zhuzhed a bit.
Yeah, there's 2 things I wanted to hit with it.
You can go ahead.
Okay, so before he leaves, he wants to go into the bathroom, probably the one that he shares with family, and splash some water on his face, and then just kind of ask the shadow, just to say, if Rose were here, I could really use a pep talk, but are you there, Shadow?
My dude.
Buddy.
You take a look towards the mirror and you can see standing behind you, just sort of kind of extending your own shadow in the candlelight of the room. You need encouragement.
Yeah.
When I look towards our future, nothing is unattainable. And if it is something we want, we are going to attain it. And here we have before us a very beneficial ally. I think we should take it.
Not exactly what I was going for, but that's gonna work. So he will finish up in the bathroom and then go just do maybe a little bit harder than a light knock on the door because he's feeling confident.
You just hit it real hard, just act casual. You do hear a bit of stirring in the room. Opens the door. You can tell he most certainly had been asleep, but was up and at the door as if he was not.
And from there, Roshan will just take him on a quiet, very early morning stroll around town. And then with that nugget of confidence he got from the shadow, when they are in front of the Gullveig statue, he would like to say to Egill, have you heard of the Gullveig custom of counting shoulders?
I do not believe I have.
So it's he'll touch his own left shoulder and count 1, 2, and then he'll put a hand on Egill's left shoulder and say 3, and then all the way around his neck and count 4.
Egill like watches you like he's learning something for a split second, and then you watch the recognition, and he just burst out laughing. Shit. But it's pretty fucking good custom.
Oh my god.
Yep, it's pretty new custom.
Mm-hmm.
I ship it so hard.
And then that's where I imagine the tour ends and they head back to the inn.
Shoulders have been counted. Everyone back to your rooms.
Leave some room for Gullveig.
If there's Gullveig's like,
You are
I feel like
a
Gullveig's
legend.
just like push people together. Like, no. So I'm gonna try and do some zhuzh and tell me, by golly, if you think this is something you need to talk about. Or you can at least maybe give the cliff notes, up to you guys. I would love to possibly zhuzh the conversation that happens in the morning. You can give me the topic if you'd like to, but if we need the full conversation, we can have it, but what's up the next morning?
I think that we can judge that and we can have a more complete conversation the next time that Fen and Nana are able to have an aside.
Sure.
Not sure, not sure it's a judgeable conversation.
Okay, because the thing is, if it's not, I'm trying to like zhuzh aggressively into the future.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So on this hunt, then I guess we'll.
We can call it a narrative beat by beat.
Yeah. No. I wanted to say, while we're away from the others, I'm sorry for leaving in the manner that I did, or assuming that your future held what we all thought it did. It's entirely your choice whether or not you think you want to lead Gullundyr. We all know that you're suited for it, whether you wanted it or not. I had really prepared myself that was the position you were going to take, and it terrified me. To think that you and I wouldn't do this anymore. You wouldn't have time for a hunt with all your responsibilities.
Come on. We've seen so many city leaders on our way through these lands. You can't possibly tell me that none of them have time for a measly hunt with a good friend.
They have time for hunts with people they're trying to win favor with, and their attention's split in many different ways. And
well, either way, I will always have time for a hunt with you, Fen. It does not matter what else I'm doing. I will always have time for you.
it's just so we're clear. If you wanted to be the chief of Gullundyr, you'd be a fantastic leader.
Your vote of confidence is always bolstering, my friend. Especially after the week I've spent writing letters with Hertha, I would much prefer to chew my own leg off.
Be careful you don't step in a bear trap. Which reminds me, Gorbjorn is out here somewhere. Surprised we haven't heard his wolves.
We'll have to check in on him at some point.
I'm glad to have you along.
Glad to be here. You should
Good.
come back to Gullundyr more.
I'll pack
More
up
frequently than once a week.
I'll pack up camp and return with you as soon as we go back to fetch Saga. But let's not go back empty-handed. Let's bring back something for people to eat.
Think I just saw a rabbit go around the corner.
Did it
Raise
have
you to it?
horns?
Not this time, I don't think, though it may have been a branch. Let's have a look, shall we?
Let us.
Yeah. Easy enough for you guys to get something to hunt and set up shop and head your way back to Gullundyr. Easy peasy. You guys are good hunters.
Yeah, when we're breaking down camp, one more thing to Zhuzh. The whole time, I'm surprised nobody noticed that there's a Lady Satyr symbol that Fen had woven out of holly boughs, and he's gonna cut that down and give it to Saga. Yeah, keep this with you.
Oh my gosh. This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. At least that I can remember. Thank you so much, Fed.
Well, you're welcome.
You know what? I think Lady Satyr totally forgives you for not doing anything on the temple. This is amazing. I can put it up in the temple.
You can
I was just going to say, it would
In the
make a
temple.
lovely decoration.
in the temple. All right. Yes.
Now that there's going to be a roof and everything because of Eagle's friend, then we'll not have a problem with anything about rain or anything, and it'll be so nice.
I'd love to talk with you about that on our way back to Gullundyr, but suppose we should finish breaking up camp before that.
There's not much here to pack up. There's some meat and some hides that have been stored away, and a couple of in the one bedroll, and kick out the fire, and we can be gone. Should we try to find Gorbjorn on our way back, or has he been back to town frequently?
I haven't seen him much back in town.
Sneaky.
Well, might be a good idea for us to pass by briefly. Pop in.
He's just to the west of where we are now, I believe.
I don't suppose it would be too much to zhuzh through saying hi to Gorbjorn and catching him back up on the latest news.
Yeah, that to me is the zhuzh, is what I'm implying, is that you guys go see Gorbjorn and you give him the news. Anyway, like that's
Carrying
my
on.
implication of zhuzh.
Fair enough. We have a lot of time to skip. I understand. Let us
Yeah.
proceed.
And I am also going to hope this isn't, I guess, too telling. Fen, if you would like to go back home, I can tell you what you would learn there.
Oh,
If that is something you would like to do in the next couple days.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. If Nana or Saga wanted to come, Saga seemed pretty excited about meeting some elves. So Saga's welcome to accompany Fen back to Briarheart.
Yeah. Whoever wants to go to Briarheart's welcome to.
Nana would like to, if she can get away for a little while from Gullundyr without putting Hertha back too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take you not like a long time, but it's going to take you a time to get to Briarheart. But you can check in with Hertha, who, when you find her, is writing letters. But the three of you can go to Briarheart.
Boom.
And this is what we call the zhuzh.
The zhuzh.
Shall we zhuzh?
When
Yes.
all three of you get there, after taking a trip to y'all's selves, the dynamic trio on a trip going to Briarheart.
yeah.
Saga, there's so many elves here.
Oh my gosh,
I
they
just-
have so many patterns. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just a lot of different patterns, mostly elves, and there's a lot of them.
I say
and,
hello to all of them that I
they-
can.
every single elf. Hello, and then
Yes.
hello. Like unsure, most of them do say hello to you or give you like a nod.
Good.
I'm going to say this, and if you have any other questions, I will happily answer them. What an terribly unfruitful venture. If
Hmm.
you ask your father, he tells you that I could tell that she seemed ill. Um, we had been working through that, and she became quite quiet. And she started not going to her meetings with the other matriarchs, and she started to fade very, very, very visually. And I could see it, and I believe everyone else could see it as well. I did not know it would end in her telling me that she was going to the waterfall, but that is the extent of what I was informed of. She had nothing else to say on the matter, and she left with nothing.
I don't suppose any of your medicine folk were able to examine her?
She was not ill. Sometimes with elves, it can be it's not a sickness, it is a tiredness. And it can happen for a myriad of reasons. It has been a long time since somebody from here has gone to the waterfall. I am sad in the sense of being alone, but I am not sad that that is her choice, because it is her choice. And I can only assume it beautiful. It is, as I would say, not the grandeur of what maybe you all have spoken of with your Valhallas and whatnot, but it is in my mind, and what your mother had spoke of before this. Going to the waterfall is, I think, the next step, an ascension. Similar, I suppose, to a heaven, maybe not quite, but I think, in my opinion, it is a leaving of physical form. And I think a lot of people would agree, but I know not of a location. No one would. No one I know. I'm so happy you came back.
I'm sorry it had to be under these circumstances. You had to know why I stayed away. There wasn't...
I understood. You were like your sisters. They had to go as well. I can understand the call. Not everyone can. And your mother has heard a call, and she is also gone.
One day I'll come back for much longer. Right now, there are things that need to be done.
Of course. I fully understand your life is your own.
If there's anything that Gullundyr can do for you, for Briarheart, anyone, please don't hesitate to send a letter.
Of course. Been a while since I've sent out a letter. That was something.
Do you know if Garrick received the armor that I sent back?
Yes, I don't know if you should go talk to him, though. He called it different and interesting.
That was that was our friend Saga here. That was her handiwork. She did a wonderful job of patching the many holes that were put into it. But it likely saved my life on many occasions, so I'll do my best to make it up to him. I rather thought there were improvements made to it, honestly.
I didn't get to exactly observe it very deeply myself, but he didn't say it was bad. He just, once again, you know how he is.
He never liked me much anyways.
No, that's incredibly true. But you don't need to be liked by everyone, so.
I'm understanding that. Just the right ones.
you all are welcome to stay the night here if you would like to. Plenty of room.
That would be much appreciated. We've come some days, and we've many days to return back home.
Saga, don't touch anyone. They're all like me here.
That's
Oh, that's why nobody wanted to.
It's
Oh,
not a personality flaw. It's just a culture.
I tried to shake a few people's hands, and then I tried to give one person a hug because they looked sad, and then they looked even worse once I did that.
I will
Okay.
say that we are very aware usually of that there are different types of people. So usually if you can give fair warning,
Oh, okay.
sometimes you will receive a handshake as so to not seem rude to you.
Oh. Oh. Wait, so does that mean they still don't want to?
It's
They generally
don't
prefer not to.
to, but they will.
Perhaps we can come up with some non-hugging greetings that will be just as exuberant.
I'm sure everyone would fully appreciate that.
I'm going to make up a dance. I'll be back.
Usually, just a fist on the heart would
No,
be.
that's not enough.
Okay.
I personally would love to be greeted with a dance. I'm going to be fully honest. Be fully honest. Basically, I'll tell you, Fen, if you even go to the matriarchs to ask them if they know where the waterfall is, they say they do not. There is nobody, it is literally the stuff of legends. Like, a lot of people almost like, it almost seems like an honor that they had such a high calling. That's a vibe you pick up from talking to a couple people.
They're just like birds kind of know which direction to fly when they're migrating. Like,
Yeah.
If you're going to the waterfall, you just kind of know. The fates point you in that direction.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to go, and people just seem to really understand that. Like, you can tell your father's upset, but you can see there is a bit of pride in it, that it's like he's happy for her but sad for him. So that's the vibe he gives off for the situation. Is there anything else you wanted to speak of while in Elftown?
Can I do a performance roll for my dance?
I would love you to do a performance roll for your dance. I would.
Can
prefer
we
not
help
to-
her develop it?
I'm sure you all can watch her and help her while she does it.
Okay.
Hell, I'll
take
give you
constructive
advantage.
criticism. Oh wow, thank you. Okay. Performance.
I don't know if it helps, but Nana knows how to play panpipes.
Wow.
Actually, the same instrument
Yeah.
that Ben knows as well.
Both of you. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Boop, 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 boop.
22.
You fail.
No! Do I still have one of those? Don't tell me
Yeah.
I still have one of those. Let me check my notes. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
I
you
can't fail in this.
Oh, you did have two. Oh no, Saga!
Did I really?
Yeah,
No,
you
but-
have, because you used it to speak to Hertha. You wanted to hang out with Hertha.
I did.
You did.
I'm gonna make
You-
a bad impression in front of all of these elves.
You make a bad impression in front of these elves, but they all are like, yeah, and like somebody claps. Like,
Oh.
It was so much better in practice.
That's all right, dear. We'll try it again next time.
The one who claps is probably Fen's father, because he knows you've been practicing it.
All day.
Buddy.
But it's like they're watching you, like you've lost your mind in like the
It's-
street.
It's like an interpretive dance, so it's something.
No.
Oh yes.
They're just like, it's like there's a sickness. Maybe the wheat's bad. Somebody goes to check the wheat. Like it's just sort of unsettled.
Perhaps we should have explained ourselves first.
Oh my god.
We'll work on the full presentation on our way back home.
I had a one non-Briarheart related question is, Is Jenny still around?
Oh, she would
She's
have
follow us?
followed you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
she followed you, Briarheart. She's
Dang.
like, that's where
Introduce
the
your
food's
dad to your
going.
girlfriend.
It's me. Dad, this is
It's-
Jenny.
She eats bugs out of my hand.
So after
Pretty
spending
serious.
time in Elf Town, where you get how people feel about the waterfall, but no direction, because is it real? They don't know, but they think it is something beautiful. It
Can-
seems to be the vibe.
Sorry,
Any
can I
kinda
pick up
town.
some fabric here as
Ooh.
well?
I'm sure there's somebody selling fabrics. If you throw down a couple silver, I'm sure you could get something.
I don't have any silver.
I can assist you if you
But I
want.
do have. Oh, surprisingly, wow, where'd this come from? 2 gold from Gorbjorn.
Oh, yeah.
I start to
forgot
count
about
out
that.
my copper, and then I find 2 gold, and I'm like, whoa, these ones are a different
Oh.
color.
Would you like 2 golds worth of fabric?
How much fabric is that?
That would be a lot of fabric.
I don't know if
Good
I can
bit.
carry that much fabric. Maybe.
Okay, I could do the couple silvers worth and give you some silver back.
Hey, yeah, I haven't had that color yet.
New color. And you are given a few yards of fabric from
Wonderful.
Cool Elf Town.
Cool elf town fabric. Thank you.
So you all, I'm assuming, leave Briarheart unless there is something else that needs doing.
No, that's all I had. Unless Saga wants more trinkets.
Just wandering the
make me-
streets.
Gosh, do I find at least one thing?
I mysteriously have 2 more gold too, so
Surprise, surprise.
A trinket
Um,
can't cost that much money.
I'm just saying if there was something that you wanted, Fen has 2 gold that he's not attached to in any way that he'd be willing to put towards Saga having trinkets.
I mean, I've used a lot of the trinkets that I had at the beginning of the game. I do need to restock.
That's very true.
Mm.
Roll a D100.
Wow.
Trinkets, 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 trinkets.
70 exactly.
Let's scroll. Weird. While shopping around, you find a bit of a place that looks like it sells herbs and things of the like. And something that stands out to you is a small little pouch, sort of in like the back in a corner of the table,
Mm-hmm.
full of some sort of pink dust.
Oh, I like pink dust.
Gib pink dust. So if you'd like to, you could purchase that. This person seems willing to part with it for 3 copper.
Absolutely. I can count that one real easy.
You're like, boy, oh boy, kushunk. Flip,
Yeah.
flip, flip.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is that is the thing that like catches your eye at the moment. Like, oh,
Okay.
that's good.
That one. Yeah.
This is what speaks to me in this exact moment,
Mhm.
as the lady intended.
Yes. That
Um,
does seem like something the lady would intend.
Definitely.
Sorry, I'm just, you thinking to yourself. You
Are you
guys,
gonna regret this later or something?
sometimes. So you guys are gonna start making your way back home. I'm gonna give you some information about a couple things that happen sort of in the immediate downtime, the vicinity of this downtime. The first thing is a woman comes to town escorted by 5 very heavily armed men on hoods. They just ride in.
Oh,
Men on horses wearing hoods, and they are transporting this woman, and they take her directly to where Egill is setting up shop. And it is a young dwarven woman, deeply tanned skin, intricate, like tied beard. She like kind of looks it over, and Egill greets her, and he's like, "I'd love a basement." And she gives him like a clap on the low back because that's where she can reach. And this architect gets to work. She seems to be magically inclined. And this time the men do stick around because it seems she just is now telling them what to do. So now there's a new person in town helping Egill build. And they start burrowing into the ground, for this place did not have a basement prior. Also, this person is introduced to you, Saga. She's
Hi.
going by Twain currently.
Twain.
She introduces herself. So would you like a hand? I heard something about building a small temple, maybe a nice
Yes.
lean-to.
Yeah, wow, that would be really great. I mean, anything. I can show you what I've built so far. It's mostly just a wooden statue structured altar. Maybe a little roof, so if somebody is traveling, they can get out from under the rain or something.
I see, and she smiles. We'll put it on Eagle's tab.
Okay.
Let me finish up here. It's going to be a minute, but if I have some downtime, I'll come help you. But if not, after I finish, you're next.
Thank you. You're doing the lady a real service. She thanks you.
Appreciated. And she gets to work trying to turn this into a much fancier building for our bougie friend Egill. Also, blah, blah, blah. You all learn, especially the people in town, inevitably all of you will learn this. Going into the second week, about towards the end of the week, you hear that Chief Brom Malson has passed, and his son Alec has taken over his position.
Okay. Alec was the one that we had direct
Yes.
contact with.
Yeah, you spoke to Alec, and his father seemed to be doing very poorly. And you
Yeah.
just received word in Gullundyr that he has passed, and Alec is now chief.
This is a lot of turnover. I don't like this.
Nana, they sent us with a shield of Arentoft. We should send something back from Gullundyr.
Of course we will. I'll get with Hertha about it immediately. If she hasn't already thought of it, which it wouldn't shock me if she has, but worth bringing up anyway.
You go speak to Hertha, who asked you directly, because you've spoken to Alec, if there's something in particular. You said it was a shield. She says that it would be best not to send a weapon then.
Okay. All right. What would you recommend in that case? A similar armament, a shield?
I would say something, because of course we're not going to be able to make it for the funeral. That is already probably passed. So it would be something for Alec. So either some sort of armor, but we do not know his size, so it could be a bit weird. And possibly a shield or something of the like.
Saga may have his size. She has an eye for that sort of thing. And could possibly make something that's quite pleasing to him.
Possible.
Well, she is welcome to accompany the blacksmith in town and give him her eye.
Figuratively, of course.
Of course. No actual eyes, please. Too much. Alec is a good man, but not enough to be sending him eyes.
Probably for the best.
Right. Also, it is a few days after that you receive word from Hertha, who received this letter, that the Jarl has called for a gathering. That the Jarl is unsettled by basically most of the chiefs who signed the peace treaty have passed. and would like to get the chiefs together and has picked Gullundyr as that spot. Considers it a neutral central area where all of the chiefs can come to meet. This does not mean every chief is going to be present, but the chiefs who have much higher status, certainly, and whatever other chief wants to come. So the chiefs that you know will be in attendance are Alec Bromson, Freyrun Marish, Gothi Autumnus, and can't read my own fucking handwriting.
Mood.
Vandil Stormer, which you all would know. Vandil is the chief on the coast.
Those last two are still standing, like they weren't just recently replaced, right?
Yeah, they're not. So far, Gothi Autumnus and Vandil are the only old chiefs that are alive currently that were like main players in the signing of this peace treaty.
They haven't been judged yet.
I have yet to judge them, but I might. Y'all can't stop me.
You can't judge the Jarl's people.
And you also receive word that the Jarl will be sending somebody ahead of themselves to basically check in with Gullundyr and kind of make sure everything is good for said meeting. So somebody, an advocate of the Jarl, will be coming to Gullundyr by the end of the month.
Okay. Well, we'll need to figure out how to parse Egill being there and if he's just going to be presenting as a normal business person or
Egill in the back, I'm a criminal. Like,
I mean, I
like
should
a
hope
normal
he's
person.
learned better business practice by now
Hello,
than
it is
that.
me, a criminal, but I'm honest. It's honest work.
I'm honest and the
technically,
criminal.
aren't we criminals? I was more worried about people seeing us there and being like, "Hey, wait a minute,
Do we have a bounty on you?
yeah."
Just a tiny bit.
And I hope you guys are excited for maybe just a little bit more downtime next week on the Backs of Gods.
Oh yeah.
Boy, oh boy, we are. I have almost judged through our downtime, boys. We're almost there. I see it in the distance.
We just can't shut the fuck up.
You guys are beautiful and lovely, but you guys do enjoy talking to each other, and I don't have any qualms with it.
Right.
That means downtime is forever. There is only downtime.
Well, so long as our patient audience allows us, Indica likes it. I think
Indica
that's
comes
justification
here for
enough.
the dialogue. We know it. Y'all know it. So we will finish this up, and I believe we will be doing just a bit more downtime, and then we get to meet an emissary of the Jarl, and then the Jarl herself, more than likely, and a bunch of chiefs that I'm sure everybody is excited to meet each and every one of them again.
Everyone's gonna go to their crossroad and meet Lady Satyr and convert.
Saga's like, I gotta be at the road. If there's
Oh
gonna
my
be important people coming by, I gotta be ready.
I'm so excited.
Saga would have wanted them as a bounty.
Thank you all so much for being here. Hopefully nobody is murdered for their high bounty that all of them have on top of them. I'll just zhuzh over it though, new characters.
It's fine. Just choose the party.
Yeah, I'm one of the lords coming in, guys.
Oh, are you? Prince Gorbjorn.
It's
Yep.
you just follow the crowd in like, I'm here. Also,
Oh, I was saying
Oh
my
my
new
God.
character was one of the lords, but now
no,
I
now
want
it's
I need to come as Gordon.
But thank you all so
Prince Gorbjorn.
us. We really truly appreciate you guys coming to listen to our story. We love getting to tell it. Boy, we love telling it. So if you're interested, the Dice Cult does more than just on the Backs of Gods. If Frank were here, he'd tell you about how on Tuesdays, sometimes everybody has a little drink and plays some old-fashioned D&D where everybody doesn't have to now deal with the social politics that are about to occur on the Backs of Gods. So if you're interested in watching the Legends of Theia, what are you going to do on a Tuesday besides watch more Dungeons and Dragons? My personal opinion. They go up on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you need some late night D&D, bring your own drinks for sure. Also, every Saturday, we have our spooky, scary Vampire the Masquerade in the last remaining light. Sometimes the dice say, hey, it's time to freak out, and you got to freak the fuck out. And that's what happened last time.
Oh boy.
Sometimes you roll a 1 and you have to lose your fucking mind. And that's where we are. So if you're interested in seeing the fallout from Insanity, you can head on over on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are here always, same time, same place, every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, saying all the times real good today. If you're interested in keeping up with us or want to see some art, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you, we have some very nice pictures of the party that's up currently, and maybe I'm holding on to a nice picture of Egill. We'll have to see. So the only way you're going to know about it is if you follow us. That's just how it is. So thank you all for being here again. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Good night, everyone.
Cultists.